I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media. But what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
A heated moment just unfolded right in front of Teyana Taylor's kids, and the internet can't believe it. Her new man publicly disrespected Iman Shumpert, and the whole thing was caught on video. Right there, in front of the children, emotions exploded, voices rose, and the tension cracked wide open. No one expected it to go that far, but when it did, there was no turning back. People are now asking, was this just a clash of male pride, or a moment that crossed a line forever? When kids are watching, when old wounds still hurt, and when love gets messy, things can spiral fast. This one moment exposed a bigger story, something boiling under the surface for a while. And now, everyone has something to say about how it went down, who was wrong, and who needs to grow up. Because when family meets tension, it's never just about that 1 second. It's about everything that came before, and what might come after. And for Teyana, Iman, and the children caught in between, this moment changed everything. Teyana and Iman have tried to keep things respectful since their breakup, for the kids' sake. Even though the love didn't last, they both agreed to stay involved parents and put their children first. Iman's always been around, cheering at games, picking up from school, showing up when it matters. People say he never let the breakup pull him away from fatherhood, and the kids clearly love him deeply. Meanwhile, Teyana's been stepping into a new chapter with a man who's been mostly kept private. They've been seen at dinners, holding hands, even smiling on red carpets, but fans have noticed the chemistry feels off. Still, she's allowed to move on. Life doesn't stop, and neither does healing. But when both men showed up at a recent family event, things took a turn no one saw coming. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. They weren't meant to meet, not like this. The vibe that day was already a little tense, and one wrong word turned into a fire. That peaceful front cracked wide open in seconds. The video that leaked is short, but it says a lot. It begins with Iman walking up to his kids, smiling and reaching out to greet them like any loving dad. One of the kids even says "Daddy," and runs toward him, arms open. But right before he reaches them, Teyana's new man steps in, placing himself between them. He says, clear as day, "They are good. You can back off now." Iman freezes, caught off guard by the words and the way they were said. His smile drops, and you can tell he's trying to stay calm, for the kids. One child tugs Iman's hand and softly says, "Daddy, come," looking confused. Iman responds quietly, "Don't do that in front of them." But his eyes are locked on the other man. Tension fills the air, you can almost feel it through the screen. The video ends there, but what happened in those few seconds told the world everything it needed to know. Respect was crossed, and the fallout was instant. Iman didn't swing. He didn't shout. But his silence said everything. He took a step back, clenched his jaw, and walked away. Not because he was weak, but because his kids were watching. Insiders say that moment crushed him, and he barely spoke to anyone before leaving the event. A close friend revealed, he's tired of pretending everything's okay when it's not. That moment, in front of his children, was too far. He wasn't angry about the relationship, he had moved past that. But disrespect, especially in front of the kids, was something else entirely. Now, sources say Iman's re-evaluating the whole co-parenting setup, boundaries, visits, everything. This wasn't just an awkward moment. For Iman, it was a wake-up call. One that said, maybe being respectful isn't enough when others don't show the same. He didn't need to fight back. His presence was loud enough. Teyana was stuck in the middle, and it showed. People close to her say she had no idea her man would act that boldly in public. Some reports say she pulled him aside afterward and told him that wasn't okay. Others say she stood by her man behind closed doors, trying to smooth things over quietly. Her social media has been completely silent since the video dropped. No quotes, no photos, no explanation. Fans noticed right away, wondering what she's thinking and how she's processing everything. Some say this might be the moment she realizes the man she's with doesn't fit her family's needs. Others believe she's trying to manage the fallout without more drama. Because at the end of the day, this wasn't just about her. It was about her children watching it all unfold. Being pulled between the man you love and the father of your kids isn't easy. But silence speaks, and right now, Teyana says she's overwhelmed. The next move she makes could change everything. When the clip hit the internet, chaos followed. Within minutes, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded with reactions. Some people were furious, calling out the new man for stepping out of line. Disrespecting a father in front of his kids? That's disgusting, one viral tweet read. Another user said, "This guy just exposed himself. Run, Teyana, run." Hashtags like #TeamIman, #RespectTheDad, and #he crossed the line started trending. A few people tried defending the new man, saying we don't know the full backstory. But most felt the same, no matter the history, that wasn't the time or the place. Videos, think pieces, and reaction TikToks came pouring in. People picked sides, debated parenting dynamics, and dragged the new man's character. It wasn't just gossip. It became a full-blown conversation about what real respect looks like after a breakup. And in that moment, the internet became judge, jury, and witness. Speculation came swiftly after the incident, with countless theories and opinions flooding social media and conversations among fans. Many observers believe that Teyana's new partner might be battling deep feelings of insecurity, primarily because Iman still maintains a presence in Teyana's life, not just as her ex-partner, but as the father of her children. His involvement, particularly with the kids, is a natural extension of fatherhood, but to a new partner, it can be threatening, especially if there are unresolved feelings or blurred boundaries. Some fans suggest that these insecurities may have driven the new man's behavior, making him act out in a way that was both inappropriate and revealing. Others take it a step further, arguing that this moment might not have been a one-off misstep, but rather a glimpse into a shaky foundation already present in the new relationship. In their view, this incident didn't create a problem. It exposed one that was already festering beneath the surface. Perhaps trust hasn't been fully built. Perhaps boundaries haven't been clearly defined. Whatever the cause, many people now believe that the relationship is standing on unstable ground. And in emotionally high-stakes situations where children are involved, instability has consequences far beyond the adults. A more serious theory that's been gaining traction is that this confrontation could become a legal turning point. Some believe Iman might now consider filing for full custody of the children, concerned that the environment they are being exposed to is no longer emotionally safe. Fans point out that no matter how complicated adult relationships become, the children's well-being must come first. If they are being put in stressful or confusing situations, someone has to intervene. That someone, in this case, could be Iman. Not out of spite or revenge, but out of responsibility. On the flip side, some fans believe this could force Teyana into making a difficult, but necessary choice. They suggest she may have to weigh the value of peace and co-parenting harmony against her current romantic relationship. This doesn't mean she has to choose one man over another, but rather, that she might have to decide whether continuing a relationship that brings public conflict is worth the emotional toll on her family. Maintaining peace with Iman, especially for the kids, may require drawing firmer lines around her current relationship or even walking away from it altogether if it proves damaging. Other observers are holding out hope for a more mature outcome. They believe this incident might spark a much-needed conversation between all three adults involved: Teyana, Iman, and the new partner. At the center of this discussion, ideally, would be the children. Their feelings, their experiences, their safety, these should drive the decisions made moving forward. Fans are calling for a serious sit-down, not to rehash drama, but to establish clarity, clear roles, boundaries, and commitments to respect one another for the sake of the children involved. There's one theory that stood out more than others, that the new man was trying to mark his territory. In other words, he may have felt threatened by Iman's continued presence and decided to assert dominance, not in a healthy or respectful way, but in a public display that ended up backfiring. Rather than earning respect, his behavior made people question his emotional maturity. Many are now wondering, if he behaves this way publicly, in front of cameras and witnesses, what happens behind closed doors? That question alone has sparked concern. And it's led many to believe that this isn't something that can be dismissed as a one-time thing. What's clear across all perspectives is that this wasn't just a dramatic moment, it was a mirror. It reflected dynamics and emotions that have been simmering under the surface for too long. Boundaries between exes and current partners seem to be blurred, roles aren't clearly defined, and now someone needs to take accountability, not just for what happened in that moment, but for what happens next. The children are not passive bystanders in this. They are absorbing everything, emotionally and psychologically, and that's where things become urgent. This wasn't merely a headline, it was a lesson. A real father doesn't use moments like this to elevate his ego or prove a point. A real father shows up, remains grounded, and protects his peace, for the sake of the children watching. That's exactly what many believe Iman did. He didn't respond with aggression or pettiness. He stayed composed. And that calmness wasn't about looking good in public. It was about shielding his kids from further emotional chaos. He chose restraint, and in doing so, he sent a powerful message. This entire situation should be a wake-up call to all adults who share children, whether they are together or not. Pride, ego, and emotional immaturity have no place where kids are concerned. Children are always watching, and more importantly, they are feeling. They don't just hear what adults say, they internalize what they see. And what they saw that day were two men, one who stayed grounded, and one who crossed a line. That contrast may shape not just their perception of the adults around them, but their future expectations in relationships. Ultimately, this isn't just about one messy moment. It's about accountability, emotional intelligence, and the long-term emotional safety of children who didn't ask to be caught in adult conflicts. What happens next will matter, because these kids deserve peace, not power struggles. What would you do if another man disrespected you in front of your kids? Would you walk away like Iman? Or would you speak up stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your side. Was Teyana's new man just protecting her, or showing his true colors? And is it time for her to reevaluate who gets close to her family? Hit the like button if this story stirred something in you. And don't forget to subscribe for more raw, emotional deep dives like this one. Because when family, pride, and parenting collide, truth comes out loud. And sometimes, the silence speaks the loudest of all. Thanks for watching. Let's talk in the comments below.